Again, happy Father's Day, and I hope all the fathers have been feeling encouraged and loved with whatever has been going on in service or at home, or that you know that you are cherished and that you are needed, and that your presence is critical to the development of your family and how you raise your kids or how you love your wife. So thank you for all the fathers for being great examples. Like Jordan was sharing, Father's Day is difficult because on one end, it's really exciting, right? If you are a father, like this is a great time that you can get honored, or you can have honor in all that you do for your family. But also it can be very difficult because not everyone has amazing relationships with their father. Not everyone has we have a good father in God, but that isn't always the case in our earthly fathers. And I just pray that even in times of trial and struggle with this day, that we can look to God and know that He is the end all and be all best father that we could ever have.
Amen.
But we are also celebrating today Juneteenth. A time where we can celebrate justice for all. Right? That we can celebrate emancipation, that we can celebrate freedom for all people. And today we're going to talk a little bit more about that in the sermon. You can go ahead and turn over to John 8. But as you turn, and because it is Father's Day, I do owe you a dad joke. Right? If I didn't give a dad joke, then is it really Father's Day?
Really not. To be honest. That's very true. That's very true.
What? So, what Bible character doesn't have a father? Of course, it's Joseph, son of Nun.
I might cut that out.
Now, that was a good one. That's got to be in the YouTube. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube, I do encourage you to go and subscribe. It's where all the lessons get posted and everything. So one-stop shop for all your biblical needs.
And dad jokes.
And dad jokes. But only for this sermon, which you would have to go there to listen to this on that YouTube. Amen. Today, what I want to talk about is the duality of Jesus. Thank you so much, Harrison, for holding it down last week, preaching the word. He finished up John 7 as the guards come back to the Pharisees, and they're like, "Where is he?" I was like, "You got to see it for yourself, man. The way he speaks, the power in his words, the spirit-filled words that he speaks, there's something different about this guy. There's something about this Jesus. And we need to take him seriously." So thanks so much, Harrison, for bringing the word last week. Me and the family were on vacation, which was much needed, but extremely refreshing. So thank you guys for all the love there. But today, we're going to pick up in John 8, so hopefully you're over in John 8. But the festival is over. Right? That whole John 7 was the festival of tabernacles. The festival is over. People are now leaving Jerusalem to go back home. People are now leaving the city because the mandatory festival has ended. So what now? What is Jesus going to do now? He was just in the temple where he was preaching and teaching, and the Pharisees were trying to kill him, and the crowd were confused. Who is this guy? Is he the Messiah? Is he a prophet? Is he demon-possessed? Who is he? So all of that is leading up into the beginning of John 8, where we pick up in verse 1. And I'll get more into the duality in a second.
Okay.
In verse 1, John 8, "But Jesus went to the Mount of Olives. At dawn, he appeared again in the temple courts, where all the people gathered around him, and he sat down to teach them. And sorry, stop right there. In this culture, it's unlike what we experience today, where normally the person preaching stands up and everyone else sits down. Opposite, where if you were a rabbi or you were a teacher, it was a place of honor to sit. And then people would crowd around you as you sat and spoke. So Jesus is now taking the posture, not just of a guy in the temple courts, but no, now I'm a teacher. I'm a rabbi. I am a person of amazing power and teaching that I was given to by God. But that is the position that he is now sitting in. In verse 3, the teachers of the law and the Pharisees brought in a woman caught in adultery. They made her stand before the group and said to Jesus, "Teacher," which is cool because they're acknowledging him now. Now he's teacher. "Teacher, this woman was caught in the act of adultery, and the law of Moses commanded us to stone such women. What do you say?" They were using this question as a trap in order to have a basis for accusing him. But Jesus bent down and started to write on the ground with his finger. When they kept on questioning him, he straightened up and said to them, "Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." Again he stooped down and wrote on the ground. At this, those who heard began to go away, one at a time, the older ones first, until only Jesus was left. With the woman still standing there, Jesus straightened up and asked her, "Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you?" "No one, sir," she said. "Then neither do I condemn you," Jesus declared. "Go now and leave your life of sin." What's awesome about God, or about fathers, or a good father, is he has a duality to him. He has both love and truth. He is both compassionate but firm. As a father, you need both.
Yeah.
There's if you just have compassion and you just love and you just encourage, you just say nice things, or you just be gentle, then you will be walked over a lot of times. If there's no rule or firmness or truth to what you say, then you're not representing the Father and God that we have. It's so important that we acknowledge the duality of Jesus, that he is both love, compassionate, a friend to the sinner, but also firm in the truth. Firm in what God teaches. And what God says is righteousness, and versus what is sin. This duality of Jesus is clearly seen here in the passage. This passage is very familiar. It's very much quoted. A lot of times it's quoted because we don't like to be held accountable to our sin. Okay, well, you can't judge me. Whoever has sin, cast the first stone, and I know you have sin. So don't be casting stones at me or judging me for my sin. A lot of time this is used to distance ourselves or oneself from being held accountable. But let's dig into the passage and actually figure out, okay, that one verse can get pulled out really quickly. Right? Like it's trail mix. Like I only pick out the M&Ms, the peanuts can get thrown in the trash, but I want the good sweet stuff that makes me feel good. Let's dig into the passage. So we see here we have Jesus. He's teaching in the temple courts, just like he's been doing. in John 7 throughout the Festival or Tabernacles. He's teaching. He's probably teaching of the kingdom of heaven. He's probably restating stuff that he've already said. That I am the bread of the life. I am bread of life. You need to eat my body and drink my blood. If you are thirsty, you need to come to me. You'll be given waters flowing, which is the Spirit. Probably, again, restating a lot of what he already said. Let anyone who's thirsty come to me to drink. Whoever believes in me, in Scripture has said, rivers of living water will flow from within them. By this you mean the Spirit. So while Jesus is teaching, and the teachers of the law and the Pharisees come to Jesus. Right? He's teaching, he has a crowd, as he normally does. He has a crowd listening, hanging on every word. And then the Pharisees and the teachers of the law come to trap him. What do? They bring a woman who has been caught in adultery, and they ask him a question. Should we stone her? Because Moses commands us to stone a woman who is caught in adultery. Jesus, knowing it's a trap, does something kind of funny. He bends down, or he's already low, so he probably just like bends, and starts drawing in the sand. What I love about Jesus is he knows when to speak, he knows when not to speak. What does the law of Moses actually say? It does say bring the woman, but it also says bring the man. Where's the man? Who is the partner in crime here? Where is he at? Is he in the crowd? Is it all made up? Are the Pharisees just trying to bring her here to see what Jesus would say? Did she actually get caught in adultery? Or is the man who she was caught in adultery with, is he of prominence? Would the Pharisees not want to ruffle feathers there? Would the teachers of the law not want to ruffle feathers because of who he is? So we'll just bring the woman. We don't know, but it is odd that the teachers of the law are trying to quote Moses, but not completely. They're quoting the Old Testament, which most of these teachers of the law and the Pharisees would have memorized. They're trying to use it to their benefit. Where is the man? Why? In this culture is a very patriarchal culture. But in this culture, you're bringing the woman who, in those days, would have seen as a possession of the husband. Why bring her and not the man? Because we already see that it is a trap. The author has already laid it out, that this is a trap that they're trying to get Jesus in. But these Pharisees and teachers of the law, they're trying to manipulate what the Bible or the Old Testament actually says to their benefit. So what does Jesus do? He doesn't answer them. But he bends down, starts writing in the dirt. Why is that? Why does he bend down and write in the dirt? In Jeremiah 17, verse 13, it writes, Lord, you are the hope of Israel. All who forsake you will be put to shame. Those who turn away from you will be written in the dust, because they have forsaken the Lord, the spring of living water. What has Jesus just said in the temple or in the courts? I'm the living water. What are they doing? What are the Pharisees? I'm rejecting you. So imagine They would know exactly the Old Testament. They would know what's going on. Jesus is writing their names in the sand. And he would know them because of the Pharisees and teachers of the law. He would know them. Imagine the scene. Jesus sitting, Pharisees standing with this woman isolated, trying to trap him, and then he just starts writing their names in the dust. Imagine that scene. Cephas, Caiaphas. Imagine Jesus writing the names of the Pharisees and the teachers of the law in the dust. Imagine what they're starting to think now. They would know the Old Testament. They have it memorized. Oh, you're going to write my name? I'm a teacher of the law. I have stature. I have power. But do they? They're oppressed by the Romans. What happens if they did want to stone this woman? They wouldn't be able to. The Romans are very firm in that they want peace and they want structure. They want peace and obedience to the Roman law. And they'll kill anybody who tries to upset that. So, in this time, even if you're caught in adultery, you probably weren't being stoned. Even though the Moses' law speaks of it, it probably wasn't happening because of the oppression of the Romans. But even Jesus, what does he say if someone has committed adultery? He doesn't say stone them. He's like, that's the only viable option for divorce. He doesn't mention stoning at all in his teaching of adultery. So here we see this trap. These people, they're trying to bring something back that they couldn't even enforce because of the Romans. They wouldn't have been able to stone this woman even if they wanted to. The Romans wouldn't have had it. So again, you see this truth coming out in Jesus. Like, I don't need to answer you. I don't need to tell you to stone her or not because you can't. But what we need to do is we need to know the truth, but we also need to extend love. Again, this picture is an amazing duality of Jesus, of his truth and his love. When he's talking to this woman, when he stands back up, he says what? Yeah, go ahead and stone her. No. He says, whoever has no sin, cast the first stone. And in the Old Testament, in Deuteronomy, if someone was caught in adultery, the witnesses of said catching would have to come forward to present the case, right? And 2 or 3 witnesses for a testimony to be valid. So Jesus is here, is like, hey, whoever has sinned, cast the first stone. Where are your witnesses? And no one comes forward. Why? Because where's the man? I know I keep coming back to that, but like, there's something fishy going on here. So sin would come out. Something would come out if they got the full backstory of this woman. So they start leaving. It says the older ones first, then all the way until it's just Jesus and this woman standing here. No one cast a stone. No witnesses came forward. So what does Jesus do? He looks at the woman and is like, where'd they go? I thought they wanted to stone you. I guess they changed their mind. Who's here to condemn you? That's not me. I'm not here to condemn you. But I will give you this. In that last line of the passage, in verse 11, we see this picture played out beautifully. Then neither do I condemn you, Jesus declared. Go now and leave your life of sin. A lot of times, we like to polarize things. I'm not just talking about politics. I'm talking about in general. You either condemn them or you condone them. Right? It's very much a popular viewpoint is you're either with us or you're against us.
Yeah.
You condemn or you condone. But here we see he doesn't condemn her, but he also doesn't condone her way of life.
Yep.
Right? He doesn't want her to be stoned. He wants to show compassion. He wants to show love. But he's also not tolerant in regards to the way she's living. Again, this beautiful picture of the duality of Jesus, that he is loving, but he is also truth. Church, there's a lot you can pull out of this passage, right? There's a lot you can pull through. We need to examine our own faults, right? And be humble. Like the Pharisees weren't about that right now. They wanted what they wanted, and they wanted it now. And when they didn't get it, they left. We need to be humble and examine our own self. Also, we need to welcome people into our lives to be able to help us shake the shackles of sin that change us to the death that we deserve. We need people like that. Imagine what this woman was feeling. Maybe this was a catalyst moment to allow her to leave her life of sin. We don't know much about her, but we know that she was caught in adultery. It probably wasn't false testimony, which means that she was married and either had an affair with someone, or the man was married and she wasn't, or they were both married. But either way, their families are now jacked up because of this adult. And if they have kids, they all need therapy. But what we see here is that we need people to pull us out of our life of sin. We need people in our lives to help us, to see what we're doing, and with grace and truth, help us out. Again, this duality. But I think it's extremely important that we have a compassionate yet firm character. We need to have both compassion and truth in the way we love people, in the way that we speak to people, in the way that we approach different situations. We need both. It's not an either or, it's a both and. Right? It's not I'm truth. I'm going to be harsh. I'm going to speak it like it is, and if you don't like it, well, tough luck. But there's also I love you. I'm not going to say hard things because I just want you to know that you're loved. I'm just going to be there for you in your time of need. I think we need both.
Yep.
We need to be both a refuge for people, but also set a high standard of what righteousness looks like. Showing both, being both, truth and love. Loving without compromising. Church, this week, this is what I want us to practice. The both and, not the either or. And you know you. Which one do you side more close to? Are you the truth? Are you the grace? You know you better than me. Which one do you need to work on? Do you need to speak more truth in your relationships, in your friendships? Not cowering back, but speaking the truth in love? Maybe that's the side that you need to grow in. Or maybe you are hard line, you know the truth, you speak the truth, you are the truth. Everything that comes out might be a little harsh, but at least it's truth. Maybe the side that you need to work on is your love. Truly being a listening ear versus listening to respond. Right? I think we need both. We need the grace and the truth. We need the love and the truth. We need the same duality that Jesus shared, or that Jesus showed. We all have shortcomings. And we all needed the compassion of Christ. Yeah. We all needed the grace that God gives. We all needed a kick in the butt with the truth.
Yep.
We needed them both in our own lives. So we also need to extend both the hand of truth and the hug of grace. Right? We need them both. So this week, that's what I want us to do. I want us to both love people, but also, I think we all have a relationship with someone that we've been dancing around a certain topic or a certain discussion. That we need to have those moments of truth in those conversations. So I'm wrapping up because it's already 11:14, I'm sorry. But the duality of Jesus. Let's love and speak the truth and be there for people as we are both the refuge and the standard setters. Amen. So, to God be the glory. Amen. Hi, my name is Cody Dottie with the Lynchburg Valley Church, and we're so grateful that you took time to watch our video. I pray that it has brought you joy and brought you peace, and it has encouraged you to continue to live this life to the full with Christ. Amen.